Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. The questioner says, brother, I've been told that pictures is completely haram, even if just kept on cell phone. What is the ruling regarding photos? Please go into detail. Jazakallahu khairan. It's a question that's been asked several times, and has also been answered several times by the major people of knowledge of the past and of the present. What you've been told is the madhab of many of the current day people of knowledge, the modern day fuqaha and muhaddithin and ulama. This is their way, their understanding and their opinion, is that taking pictures with a cell phone, keeping the pictures with a camera, photographs, videos, all of these things, modern media and things like this are all haram. Period. Absolutely, completely, as you just said. That's something that you haven't been misinformed regarding with regards to some of the people of knowledge. Other ulama, they say, and it's not a dalil just because it's khilaf, but other ulama, they say the exact opposite, is that it is permissible to take a photograph, it's permissible to make a video, and it's also permissible to store the pictures, to store the video clips, etc. And some of the modern day ulama, they hold a balanced view in the middle, and they say that pictures should not be taken with a camera, with a phone. They shouldn't be stored. Videos should not be made unless there is one or two things: a necessity or a need. A necessity, a durura, compulsion, which you have to. A person has to travel, a person has to do something and needs an ID. It's a must. And secondly, there is a haja, there's a need, and that could be, or that could include classes and lessons, lectures, fighting the missionaries and the different third world countries in which they build hospitals, clinics, dig wells, give people medicine, send people to school, give them scholarships, and the Muslims have to fight them, okay, with regards to rebuking the falsehood that they're spreading. And sometimes they may have to get on the television, okay, they may have to get on a radio, a television program or station, and they should debate with them publicly, and it's recorded, okay, let alone the fact of the general benefit of classes and lectures being recorded and being passed on, or verifying that it is an actual person who said a thing, even though that can be played with as well. But the general concept of a voice by itself is not like a voice in a video, all right? No one is going to deny that. Rather, some of the modern day ulama who were asked about this question, such as Sheikh Al-Albani rahimahullah, years ago, he was asked in his home that when a speaker speaks with just his voice is not the same as the people seeing him on the television, seeing him in a video. And the questioner, I believe, was he was from Jordan. He may have been Palestinian, and he was saying that, you know, the different Rafida, okay, the Rafida, the actual term for the Shia, the Rafida, when they speak about Islam and Sunnah and the Sahaba and the Quran, and they get on the radio programs, the TV programs, and that is no way that the Muslims, the people of the Sunnah, can just talk with audio. They actually have to be seen. They have to appear on the television station, on the program, fighting and combating and destroying the Rafida, okay? So we mentioned three main views of the current day ulama. The first view is that it's absolutely haram. The second view is that it's absolutely permissible. And the third view is that it's only permissible in times of necessity or in times of need. Another very important detail is that it depends on the content of the pictures, the content of the video. Those ulama who say that it's permissible to use photography, to take videos, to make videos, things like this, they say it can't be women that are uncovered. There shouldn't be pictures of young boys. It shouldn't be pictures of things that are means of fitna for people, infatuation. It shouldn't be a means of people being naked. It shouldn't be someone being caught and invited to drugs or alcohol and any type of ma'siyah, any type of disobedience to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and to his apostle. So these are three main views of the modern day fuqaha. And the reason why we quoted the modern day fuqaha, and we didn't start off with the hadith and what the ulama of the past said, is because the camera, the camcorder, these things are modern day novelties, new technology, all right? The concept of drawing, illustrating with one's hand, sculpting, painting, the concept of making a statue out of bronze, out of copper, out of gold, out of this and that, that's old. And the Prophet ﷺ, in many hadith, he spoke on the ruling of this. Okay, as the hadith states that the hellfire will say, وَكِلْتُ بِثَلَاثٍ, He says, I'm entrusted with three types of people. Three types of people the hellfire says that I've been entrusted to punish. The first, it says, بِكُلِّ جَبَّارٍ عَنِيدٍ. First and foremost is every man, every person who is jabbar. He says, an arrogant, oppressive tyrant. An arrogant and oppressive tyrant. وَبِكُلِّ مَنْ دَعَى مَعَ اللَّهِ إِلَهًا آخَرٍ. And everyone who invokes another God, another deity with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And the last part of the hadith says, وَبِالْمُصَوِّرِينَ. And those who make taswir. Those who make images, those who make sculptures, those who make paintings, those who draw things. And there's several other hadith in Sahih Bukhari and Sahih Muslim, in which the Prophet ﷺ tells us that those who have the worst punishment on the Day of Judgment are those who make taswir. Those who have the worst punishment on the Day of Judgment are those who try to imitate Allah's creation. And it will be said to them in the hellfire, أَحْيُ مَا خَلَقْتُمْ. Give life to that which you have created. And it states that they won't have the ability to give life to anything they have been created. Okay? Many ahadith, authentic sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ that regard taswir, making images, making pictures, making statues and sculptures manually, by hand. They say that this is a major sin from the greatest of the major sins. And that was the madhab of most of the Salaf al-Salih. Akthar al-Salaf had that view. And few of the Salaf al-Salih, they had the view that making any type of picture isn't permissible, whether it has life in it or not. A mountain, a tree, a landscape, said you can't draw or paint anything. And most of them said what's meant by impermissible things like this, things that have life. We call as-suwar dhawatul arwah, things that have life in them. Everybody clear on this? But the camera, the video recorder, these things are new. So that's why we call it the modern day fuqaha today. Hopefully that's clear by the Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So therefore, obviously it's an issue of difference of opinion. And whenever there's a difference of opinion, if it's something that's very doubtful or very confusing, if there's something that is a very dangerous threat behind, then he who doesn't have that much knowledge, he who isn't that sure, he who's just following and listening, he should avoid it. He should stay away from it. As far as if you have the knowledge to make ijtihad and to see and to think, and that you feel that it's a benefit by the classes being in video, and it's a major benefit like this and like that, then that's one thing. But if you don't have that extensive detailed knowledge, if you're confused, so on and so forth, then you should avoid it. You should stay away from it. Also, looking at the modern culture, when you walk into the coffee shop, everybody's on their cell phone. No one is reading a book. Everybody's on their smartphone with their headphones, Bluetooth headphones. Everybody's watching, playing, doing something. So the concept of the phone, the concept of pictures, the concept of videos, the concept of leaking people's information, the concept of, they say, taking revenge on your ex, your ex-wife, your ex-husband, your ex-girlfriend, sending this picture, sending this video, making this type of video. This is a fitna of 2016. This is how people live today. People live on their phones. So ask yourself the question, if I take a picture on my phone and I preserve the picture and I pass it on someone else, what's going to be, how's it going to end up? I take a picture of my wife and then we're divorced. What's going to happen to the picture? I take a picture of this place and of that place. What is going to end up? How is it going to end? So oftentimes you have to be aware of the fitna that may come as a result of the pictures. You have to be aware of the fitna that may come as a result of the video. Even if it's permissible to take, permissible to keep, but what's going to happen in the end? Is the surah, is the picture a means of dhikr of Allah or turning from Allah's dhikr? And this was explained in detail by Ibn Qayyim rahimahullah, who lived years ago. And he spoke on those who love pictures, those who love images. He says they are punished by Allah. And their hearts are constantly busy. Their hearts are constantly engaged with other than Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And he says, Ishq as-sur, he says, ardent passion for pictures and images, he says, is from the greatest of Allah's punishments. So we don't have to get into the concept of pornography, the concept of videos, the concept of sports, the concept of all of these things that keeps people from Allah's dhikr. So all of these things are very important details when we start talking about pictures and videos. Permissible, impermissible, especially on the phone. Especially on the phone. Alright? Spreading them, sending them, WhatsApp, Skype, Viber, whatever email, whatever app that you use to send pictures, to send media. So just be mindful of this. Obviously the question clearly says, please go into detail. And that's the only reason why we spent this much time on the question. Because we could have easily summarized it. And there's more details, there are more details as well. We can go even deeper than this, but we'll suffice ourselves with this. Bi-idhnillahi subhanahu wa ta'ala. Hopefully all of that is clear.